welcome back to Houston Life. Our guest is local author who recently made USA Today's best-selling book list for the third time. Her latest book, Three Blue Hearts.
It's incredible. 3 times. So the story dives into the bond between a boy named Max and an octopus he rescues on a Texas beach. Here with more on the novel, award-winning author Lynne Kelly. Congrats, third time on the USA Today bestsellers list.
Yeah.
And this book, tell us what inspired this, because you know I'm fascinated by an octopus.
Right. I had the setting in mind for a long time. It's loosely based on Indianola. So a lot of Texas people might know about Indianola, which has been a beach ghost town since the late 1800s, when they were pummeled by 2 huge hurricanes and then a fire, and then the people decided, you know what, I think this isn't our scene. So it's been a ghost town since then. But I imagined, you know, what if people did go back and rebuild yet again? So it's, and the courthouse is 300 feet into offshore, so you could, you know, swim that far to see the remnants of it. So that kind of thing fascinates me, abandoned places, ghost towns. So I've been thinking about this setting and had some of the characters in mind, but wasn't sure what happens in the story. Obviously, I have to have a story. I can't just turn in a cool setting and some characters I like. So it took a while for the story to really come together. And I knew that this character would be somehow connected to an animal, caring for, protecting an animal in some way. And I was reading more about octopuses and finding how fascinating they are. And then I saw this image that really stuck with me of a Miami parking garage with an octopus washed up in it. It was after their king tide. I looked up to see what hurricane was that. It wasn't even a hurricane, it was a king tide, which they just had again. And this out-of-place octopus really stuck with me, the image of that. And so I gave a sighting like that to my character. Not as out of place as a parking garage, it is on the beach, but out of the water where it should not be. So that's what kicks off the story, really. My character Max is at this beach town for the summer with his mom, and he's a kid who loves animals, and he comes across this washed up octopus, thinks at first it's a deflated volleyball, and realizes, oh, it has arms on this volleyball, and one is reaching out to me. And he doesn't know what to do, but he's a very compassionate kid, and he knows he can't walk away. So whatever happens, he has to figure it out. And he's the only one around at the time and knows whatever happens is up to me. So he has to find help for this octopus. So all of those things, you know, finally, you know, came together to create this story.
So for you, when you're creating and coming up with the story, is that how you always get your inspiration, where you start with a place, a time, and then you layer it from there?
Usually it does start with the animal, though. So this one is different in that way, that I kept thinking about this setting, you know, this place that, you know, could have become a ghost town, but isn't now. And I took, you know, quirky things from different coastal towns and put those in this one setting. So yeah, it usually does start with the animal. And then I think, all right, who's the character now who would be connected to this animal? Because I do, you know, of course, some wonderful authors write books from the point of view of an animal. And I've thought of always the character who, for some reason, is connected to this animal and wants to reach out to it, protect it in some way, or find some similarities. Like my book, Song for a Whale, about a whale, real-life whale who sings in a way that other whales can't understand, probably. And then I thought, all right, who's my character? Oh, she's the only deaf kid in school. And she learns about him and is thinking, I understand that weird song. I know what that's like to be alone, even when you're in a crowd. So usually it's like that. I think of the animal first, and I want to tell a story about it. So this one, it took longer to figure out what's the animal going to be. So I had the setting and the characters in mind, and then finally found what needed to be the animal for this story.
It's a fascinating process. I mean, because when you're writing, you don't know, you don't have the entire book in your head just yet, right? And so it's kind of a leap of faith every time you write a book, right? Like, okay, I don't know where this is going, but I kind of know the next step might be over here. And then you write that. I mean, is that kind of how it works? Do you end up deleting things and going back?
Sure. Yeah, and for me, it is kind of like that. Some authors like to plan everything first. They like to get all the scenes in place before they really, some do a really detailed outline. I am not a planner in any case, writing or otherwise. And I do like to have the ending roughly in mind, so I know where we're headed. So as if we're on a road trip, I need to know where we're going. I don't know where we're going to stop along the way, but I need to know that.
That makes sense.
It's like, I know there's a Buc-ee's along the way, but I don't know which highway.
We'll know that.
And you're giving us, I got to get everything to get there. That's the meat.
Then I've got 300 pages to figure out what happens in between. But the ending, though, we'll know by the end. So even if you just skipped ahead and looked at the last scene, we should see whatever this character needed to learn along the way, like I am strong enough to stand up for myself, or I am worthy, or whatever it is, we'll know by that last scene, oh, they got there. Whatever happened throughout this whole journey, they made it. They did that.
I see what you're doing
needed
there.
to do.
Is that the theme throughout your books, right? Like you're saying, this is where I want to go, and you know what you want the characters to get from it.
Yes.
And that's what I should get from it and draw strength from it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like to get to know the characters really well, because that's really who drives the story. We can't separate plot and character. There are stories that are more plot driven, but who determines those plot points? It's the character. A lot of people would walk by an octopus that looked, not like not much like they're probably can't be helped. It looks like a deflated volleyball on the beach. A lot of us would just walk by. Some might put it in the water. That would have been a good choice. But Max isn't sure, will she be okay or not? She's pretty weak. Am I just putting her in there to get swooped up by a predator? So the character determines what's going to happen next.
She believed in her, and I see where you're going with it. I'm excited to read the book.
Yeah, that's a great tease. Lynne Kelly, thank you so much. We're out of time, but congrats again on making the USA Today best-selling list for a third time. We'll see you back for your fourth book.
Thank you, and I'll be at Blue Willow Bookshop tomorrow at 4, so that's where we're doing the hometown book launch.
Fantastic. Yes. Blue Willow Bookshop. We're fans of that as well. By the way, in the meantime, we have shared a link to connect with Lynne. Just look for the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, houstonlife.tv.